One of the things that I really liked from What If Altus, one of the things I've learned from him is about mouse utopia, which I agree with his assessment. I believe that he thinks it's a pretty good model of society, and I would definitely agree to a certain extent. And one of the things that sticks out to me is just the mice that become obsessed with sex, basically. And I was talking about this with my friend the other day, not Mouse Utopia, but he's married, I'm married, and we just talked about the fact of like how much time is spent on just trying to get some freaking tail as a single man. And it's just like number one priority. And absolutely, I believe that is an issue of people who have too much time on their hands and who basically have the luxury to be focused on stuff like that when there are always greater things to be focused on. Always. Definitely now, even though we seemingly live in a mouse utopia, the cage is getting dirtier. And I think absolutely now is the time to be focused on more important things. But just even being able to have that as an issue, it's like, oh, I can't, I'm just focused on getting girls. Definitely a problem of, what's the word I'm looking for? I forget, some guy, just like the problems of just having things too good, being too rich, affluenza, if you will. It is a form of affluenza. And dudes who struggle with that it's not an alpha male issue. It is a little boy issue. It is more akin to the issue of a boy to just be focused on getting pussy. Men are supposed to be dealing with much bigger issues, and the world is always in need of good men. I mean, right now I'm just reading this book about the Crusades, and those were been famously things that were just detailed as negative. But I like Christianity better than Islam. I'm glad that I'm living a Christian influenced society as opposed to an Islam influenced society. And to a certain extent, we owe the Crusaders a a big thank you for that. Like, I almost was getting emotional reading about these guys. This guy, I think I was reading about King Ferdinand III. This fool was the king, and it talked about he was crawling over the walls of a Muslim fortress that they were attacking, and he was covered in blood, and he was the first dude over the walls. He was the king, and he was leading the charge, crawling over the walls of a fortress to go and fight their enemies. Like, imagine Donald Trump or Biden or Kamala. They're leading the charge, kicking the doors over there in Fallujah. Yeah, right. Our foreign policy would be so different. Our society would be so different if our leaders were the ones at the front lines of the battle. And that's what these fools used to be like. God bless them. And I'm not advocating for violence. I'm not. There's fools out there who think that a civil war was a good thing. They want to do that. I think that's foolish. I don't know anything about war, but I've read enough about it to know that war is hell. But I think that men need to make themselves capable of violence. They're not even worth listening to if they're not capable of violence. Like, you have to be strong. Stop jerking off. Stop trying to F every single bee that moves and go to the gym. I mean, it's so cliche at this point, but it's still true. I mean, I still run into so many dudes who would have their lives improved drastically if they just cut out obvious vices and just stuck to the gym. But you have to be aligned on a deeper path for this to really be meaningful and to stick to it. And I'm trying to keep these videos under 5 minutes long because I can get real rambly. But it's always the same point. Get in the right path, get after it, stop jerking off, be more like a crusader king and less like a fat bitch.